This episode, we journey back once more to the Age of the Primes to look at another of the legendary original 13 Transformers. Size matters not. These are the basics on the first Minicon, Micronus Prime. Micronus Prime was an original character created by Hasbro designer Aaron Archer and the staff of the company's HasLab creative division in the late 2000s, as part of a new mythology they were developing for the Transformers universe. In this story, Micronus was one of a group of 13 divine warriors known as the Primes, the first Transformers, created at the dawn of time by the god of light, Primus, to help battle his evil brother, the dark god, Unicron. The diminutive Micronus was designed by Archer to be the ancestor of the Minicons, the race of tiny Transformers introduced into the franchise's lore in 2002's Transformers Armada. The mythology HasLab created became the foundation of the Aligned continuity, a multimedia project of interconnected series and stories that ran throughout the 2010s. Micronus himself first appeared in a flashback in the 2011 Transformers Prime episode, One Shall Rise Part 1, but his name wasn't revealed until the publication of the 2013 guidebook, The Covenant of Primus, which told the full story behind the character. As detailed in The Covenant, Micronus was the fifth of the Primes created. A tiny robot with an innocent nature and a sharp mind, he was made by Primus to be the conscience of the group, and so kept a close eye on his siblings, growing able to anticipate their thoughts and actions. He found many of the other Primes overly stern and serious, but he was good friends with the bestial, spiritual Onyx Prime, as well as the imaginative, creative Solus Prime, with whom he worked to create the megacomputer Vector Sigma. Though small in stature, Micronus had more energy surging within his body than any four of the other Primes put together. Through the power of a mystic artifact created for him by Solus, the Chimera Stone, Micronus could link his body with any of his siblings and share his energy with them, boosting their strength and endurance, while also allowing Micronus to mimic their unique abilities. After the 13 defeated Unicron, the power-hungry Prime, Liege Maximo, began scheming against the others, and manipulated the outsider of the group, Megatronus, into killing Solus. This tragedy shattered the Prime's brotherhood, turning them against one another, and leading to a violent clash between them that resulted in the death of Maximo, the exile of Megatronus, and the fatal wounding of Onyx Prime. The remaining Primes, shamed by their actions, decided that it was time for them to step down as the stewards of Cybertron and to open the way for a new race of beings to take their place. Together, they created the Well of All Sparks, a conduit for the power of Primus through which the Transformer race would be born. It was the dying Onyx who volunteered to be the catalyst for the process, descending into the well to bring it online and remaining in its depths forever, his life sustained there by Primus's power. Micronus, his heart already broken by Solus's death, and unable to bear the thought of being parted from another friend, disappeared into the well with him. Every Cybertronian that emerged from the well was patterned after one or more of the Primes. Those born of Micronus's pattern were the Minicons, small robots who shared their ancestors' ability to bond with larger bots in various ways, including granting them increased strength and new powers. Micronus would eventually resurface in the present day, as seen in the 2015 animated series, Robots in Disguise. Now residing in another dimension outside normal space and time, Micronus summoned Optimus Prime to this realm so he could train the Autobot leader in preparation for the impending return of Megatronus, granting Optimus the skills and power needed to thwart the fallen Prime's plan to destroy both Cybertron and Earth. Following its introduction by the aligned continuity, the legend of the 13 Primes has become a fixture of Transformers lore, featured to some extent in virtually every series produced since, each retelling and reinterpreting the tale in their own unique way. For instance, in the version of the story told in IDW Publishing's comic books, after the war between the Primes, Micronus left Cybertron and founded a colony of Minicons on the planet Prion. But when Prion was attacked by an anti-robot alien militia, Micronus fled outside of reality itself, using his power to create an entire subatomic dimension into which he retreated. Micronus' dimension, called Microspace, contained life of its own. Tiny beings who, like their creator, had the ability to combine and power up their bodies via a process of molecular fusion known as interchanging. Now, these beings were based on another Hasbro property, the 1970s toy line Micronauts, and their adventures were chronicled in their own IDW comic. In the present day, the villain of this series, Baron Karza, discovered Micronus in a state of hibernation in deep space. Karza interchanged with the Prime's dormant body and attempted to use his power to conquer Earth, only to be foiled by the combined forces of the Autobots and the Micronauts. The 2018 toy line, Power of the Primes, presented a world in which the sparks of the Primes were reborn in tiny robots known as Prime Masters. These robots could grant the powers of the Primes to other Transformers, a gimmick represented by the figures transforming into Spark mode and plugging into the larger toys in the line. To hide their power, the Prime Masters concealed themselves within armoured shells. The Micronus Prime Master shell was based on the Autobot pretender Cloudburst, and could also convert into a blaster that other figures could wield. In the 2024 movie, Transformers 1, Micronus and the Primes were the rulers of Cybertron, defending the planet and its people against the invading forces of the evil aliens, the Quintessons. But they were betrayed by their aide, Sentinel, who lured them into a trap and killed them so that he could usurp their rule. Micronus' transformation cog was one of 4 later salvaged by the sole surviving Prime, Alpha Trion, and given to a new generation of heroes, granting them the power to free Cybertron from Sentinel's oppressive reign. Most recently, in 2025, the first true toy of Micronus Prime was released in the Prime-centric toy line, Age of the Primes. Based on his appearance in the Robots in Disguise cartoon, the figure transformed into a disc emblazoned with the Minicon insignia, reminiscent of the stasis panels used to store the little robots in the Armada cartoon. Micronus came packaged with his Chimera Stone and a one-wheeled motorcycle for the figure to ride. The cycle converted into a suit of battle armor into which Micronus fitted in disc mode, inspired by the Apex armor from Transformers Prime. And it could disassemble into component parts that could be used as weapons and armor by other figures. Tiny but mighty, Micronus Prime is the ultimate example of why you should never judge a bot by their size. And those are the basics on Micronus Prime. For more info on the history and legacy of the 13 Primes, be sure to subscribe and check out my other episodes about the group. Plus, if you become a channel member or sign up to support the show on Patreon, you'll get early access to every new episode ad-free.